I'm in the Republic of Ireland at one of the hundreds of border crossings into Northern Ireland. Now, there are more crossings between these two countries than the entire eastern flank of the European Union. Hundreds of roadways, there are waterways, and there are even roads which crisscross between the two countries. And the only way you can tell where you are is the colour of the road signs. Now, the Good Friday Peace Agreement signed in 1998 was in part so successful because it did away with all of the border infrastructure built up during the years of the Irish Troubles. Lots of roads were closed, many had military checks, and goods and people couldn't move freely between them. But all that has changed in the past 2 decades. And as you can see now, I'm standing in Northern Ireland. There is no sign or line on this bridge which tells you that. There are no checks, but all of that could be about to change over the next couple of weeks, depending on how Brexit goes. This could be a new customs frontier for the European Union, and that could cause trouble for the peace process, and it's got people here very worried.
And this CCTV is why. On a busy Saturday night in January, it's thought a dissident Republican group abandoned this car in central Londonderry. Some teenagers walked by. Moments later, a bomb inside detonated. No one was hurt, but it shocked a community who thought images like these belonged to history. One of those was Peter Sheridan, a former senior police officer who served for 34 years, much of which was spent on the border, dealing with organised crime and terrorism. I asked him why this could once again be such a source of tension here.
First, customs post was established and customs officers were attacked. The police end up guarding customs posts and customs officers. And then when the police were attacked, the army came in to guard the police. And when the army were attacked, they built things to protect themselves. That was never what they set out with that intention, but it is that sort of unintended consequences and the ratcheting up, as they say, of security. If you allow grievances and resistance to happen, then people re-establish and start to grow their capacity again. Now, it will take a considerable amount of time. They won't be able to do that overnight, and there'll be policing activity that'll try to prevent all of that. But I can only go on the history of this place.
That historic tension is something Tara and Connor, both 21-year-old students at Queen's University Belfast, thought they would only learn about in their textbooks. Now they're worried about seeing it on the streets again.
It was a very unique solution that was found to the Troubles, and I think it was so delicately done. Everything was so just about the right balance was struck when it came to the peace process and the Good Friday Agreement. And I think any upset to that at all, which you're seeing now, throws the entire thing into a tailspin.
If I seen physical infrastructure there, I would get angry. Of course I wouldn't resort to violence, I would hope not. But you can, that anger's there with people. And if you have a hard Brexit and the economy tanks here, you're going to see so many disaffected young people, especially in the border regions, that have been let down by subsequent governments. They've nothing to do. And this romantic notion of fighting for Irish freedom or fighting to defend Ulster or whatever, you can easily get sucked into it.
People here in Northern Ireland, like those across the rest of the UK, are waiting to see how their MPs will vote in Westminster next week. But with the backstop having put the peace process in some jeopardy, the stakes seem much higher.